At a competitive rate, call us at 451-2049 for your rate quote today or visit us at Bay Street, upstairs Bickles and Western Union, GK and Priority Insurance because we care.
Because enjoyment every day. Because enjoyment every day. Go!
If there is one thing I like about Bickles, it's enjoyment every day. It doesn't matter if you're coming in for your beef patty and that hot cup of coffee. It doesn't matter if you're wanting that smoothie boost. It doesn't matter if you're at work and need that little sweet treat. What actually matters is that one common fact. That is, the experience is enjoyment every day.
Because enjoyment every day.
It's time to hear from you. Call 485-9797. Exclusively with Bickles. Taste the difference.
All right, here it goes. With the compliments of Bickles and GK Parody Insurance Limited, we are talking. Well, we're talking carnival. We're talking Bongo Prime. We talking.
Yeah, somebody on the left they said they want to see my face, so let me.
Never see your face here. Look like that foreign assassin.
Let me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, good morning.
I always like to wear a shape.
It's help with the allure, it's just the vibes.
It's just vibes.
It's just the vibes.
Is that vibes thing?
Do you wear them at night?
Okay.
In the night, it's bright lights. In the day, it's hot sun.
Okay.
My eyes are sensitive.
In the morning when it's deep.
Yeah. In the morning time,
Wake up.
Yeah.
feel good, wash your face, brush your teeth.
Wash your face, brush your teeth, put on your shades.
Pour your shades.
Yeah.
Pour your shades, man.
And then bathe.
Yeah, in the shower.
All right. So we talking carnival, we talking Bongo Prime, the evolution thereof. I think there's an important point that we should probably highlight, and I've kind of been hinting at it.
All right.
In that, sometimes I feel like people don't take artists seriously because they see them as it's just a hobby, is something when you're trying to escape this hard life or whatever it is, and you take a gamble on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a little different, right? So you're both a scholar and a soca artist who's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not something that we always see. Maybe Skinny might be an example of that. I'm sure there are others, but maybe the younger generation, we don't always see that balance of
work-life balance.
Right. So like we were talking earlier about even people in the workforce or the students being able to code switch between dialect and standard English.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that your scholarly elements of you help with your writing or the execution of what you want to do, or maybe your plans as an artist?
Oh, for sure. And that's a really interesting question because it's something I struggled for a while as an artist. I honestly thought I had to separate my personalities and separate my creation from academics and so on. But it's in conversations with more experienced people who told me that that's your essence. So you have to put that into your creative expression as much as possible. And
right.
I really do find when I try to do certain styles of music, I don't feel like I'm being true to myself and who I am as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I think when I bring more of myself to the table, musically speaking, I think people have connected with it a lot more.
Do you think, because I would say maybe for all the Vinci artists, you're up there with a kind of, I don't want to use that term, maybe mainstream sound. I was going to say corporate, but mainstream sound. And I think maybe that's something that we've been missing from the next generation of artists for a while. I mean, we call it Bush. Maybe it's not an unfair term, but we get a lot of Bush year on year, and not really things that we could see breaking into regional, international platforms.
Okay, I understand that sentiment for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my unique position as somebody in close contact with the youths, what I will say in response to that is that the youth are making the music that is relevant and current to them, in terms of not necessarily what they see on the international or regional market, and they're not necessarily making music. Well, some aren't necessarily making music with the idea of breaking into anywhere. I think a lot of them are just making music to be involved and to express them.
But how does that work for them though? If
it's really hard to tell somebody who grew up and down in a passenger van hearing a certain style of music being what is centered and celebrated. They're not hearing Bongo Prime in the passenger vans.
Right.
They're not hearing.
Yeah, that's a
That-
given.
that's
they're
just point
not
blank.
listening
That's a given.
to,
Yeah, that's a given.
to
Yeah.
Encore in the passenger vans.
Right.
You understand? In their world,
Marshall don't
remember, I
play
have a very
passenger
close contact with
No,
these
sir.
youth. In their world,
Mhm.
what is pop culture, what is centered, is what they will gravitate to. So they're expressing themselves in the way that they know how to. Now, I am from a different era, and I'm saying that's done, so starting to feel the little age starting to creep up on me. Even as a young man, you know, you could feel it. But my influences are different, so my expression. no, nothing personal. I look to my elders for guidance, for guidance and wisdom. You understand? But they are expressing themselves in that way. So what I would say is, if we want the palette of the youth to evolve,
Right.
I won't say change, I would say evolve, because the vibes that you get from them youth is unmatched.
Yeah. It's high energy.
It's high energy, high octane all the time, and there is value in that. I don't think we need to put everything in a certain mold to say, okay, it has to sound like this or have this lyrical structure or this particular content to be considered international, because people listen to Afrobeats and Latin music and you do not know what those people
Job is doing well.
are saying.
Mhm.
Job is doing very well. And I think as Caribbean people, sometimes we look at a neighbor doing well and we start to feel but we
I
need
feel
to
jealous.
look and learn a little bit and understand perhaps why Job is doing so well internationally, and not necessarily patronize but adopt a process like we were saying off here a while ago. It's lacking structure, so maybe those are some of the things we need to see that translate. But even while we've been getting a lot of, as you guys put it, bush, even in amongst the bush there are gems, and you hear them, and that is part of it. You can't say, well, oh, it's a lot of bush, but then there is a quote unquote bush song that is monstrous,
but that's the
popularity song,
But
and then
what
that is
happens-
dominating, and people hear that,
But the thing
and they
is-
try to make that.
But amongst the bushes, a moringa.
Well,
just
yeah, you
useful.
could boil it and
Right.
and get some medicine.
But the thing with the
benefit.
bush, right? As you rightly said a while ago, yeah, you go find that bush where it's a monster hit. But then what happens with that most times? That is a monster hit here. As opposed,
Even a monster hit, though.
if it's even a monster hit,
Or is it a?
it's a monster hit, and like you rightly
bush
said a
hit?
while,
You get
it's a
in the
monster hit
vans.
because you get in the vans up
Yeah.
and down. But after the vans and after here, where goes it?
Well, it depends on your definition of success and what you actually want out of it in the end. Because if you're making this with the intention, boy, I want to do a van and have a job decisions tour worldwide with this song, you know, massive infrastructure and promotion and all of that involved. Or if a win for me is just people like this song for the festival and they play.
Community happy.
But does it stop there? Or should it
But I
stop
mean,
there?
I guess it's
Structurally, we can say it shouldn't, and you should aspire to other heights. But I mean, what's to say that a man making a song for the festival? Sometimes I call it, I don't use that term. I like to say festival music. Right? I like that term. I like that term, festival music. Because growing up, I have enjoyed a lot of festival music.
we like the bush too. No?
Yeah, I have enjoyed.
Uh-huh.
You understand? I have enjoyed. I have gotten a good laugh. I have gotten a good moment in a party or on the road. I have experienced joy, and there's value in that for me. But if we're talking Bongo Prime, different conversation, because I have a responsibility to guide my career and my artistry, my expression, however I see fit. Right? I can offer guidance, and I do. I have a lot of youth that approach me, especially in my capacity as a lecturer, wanting to learn about music, wanting to learn about the industry. And they will tell you I am open, I am honest, and so on. But if you listen to my songs, clearly there's a certain intention behind my music.
Would you say we're in a different place or a better place now as it relates to soca music compared to what we used to hear
yesterday.
What is it? Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot more tools to our disposal. I mean, I go touch on it. You know, Genie, the AI revolution is producing a lot of you know, it's a tool, and there's a lot more openness. I think equipment is more accessible than ever before. You can go on Amazon and get yourself a proper filter, get yourself a proper recording microphone, get yourself a proper interface for a decent amount of money.
Yes.
If you're willing to
Make the investment.
make the investment. I'm
Right.
not gonna say it's nothing, and customs be killing
Right.
you from time to time.
It's
with
not
some of them
necessarily
things,
tens of $1,000s anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not unattainable.
It's
Right.
not unattainable. I mean, a youth man in his bedroom with a laptop, a sheet, maybe a cushion,
Right.
and a proper software could make some magic.
Right.
No. So I think we are in a better position to create more. But the lack of a definition behind some of our things, like I mentioned earlier, with the lack of knowing exactly what the raga is and knowing some of those things are challenging the expression overall. But
I think
we're in a better place to make more music. We're in a better place to reach new heights. I think
But
that
then
we can
we-
break that next.
We might end up getting
That next
quantity
level
over
and-
quality.
That can happen.
Though, kind of backed ourselves into a corner though, where because of the proliferation of the bush, there's no promoter building shows around bush.
I say this.
So-
I say this frequently when shows are being promoted, and not just before the show, but the promotion after the show
Mhm.
is when I really get an essence of
What people
what
like. Yeah.
every time,
Yeah. The songs that
without
they use.
without fail.
Yeah.
Because
But-
I've seen tons of bush songs playing, be tried and
Come closer to the mic, Luke.
I said I've seen tons of bush songs being played in a show,
hmm
and the reaction ain't there.
And then the promo video has 8 bush.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna be the bush.
you know what I mean. So the van culture may stimulate some of these things and give it a false sense of relevancy.
But that's what I said just now.
Right.
After the
So they're
vans
beating
and
down
all
in-
that,
in a
they play them in a
handful of
van.
bands.
But after the van, what next?
But when it actually hits that stage,
It don't happen.
like,
It don't happen. I've
it's
seen
not the
it.
same song.
It don't
It's
happen.
almost like it's produced for that.
For
I'll give you an
Like
example,
6
right?
feet by 12 feet. or
Some of these
whatever.
songs that we call a bush and we call it, big bush, blah, 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 blah. You go abroad as a DJ speaking here and you play them, nothing doing. While you play it here and everybody put off the hair, they rip off the shot. You go abroad and we say you play a bongo prime. We jump to that because we can relate to that. But so I'm saying that to say, while we just be here and we say, the bush big, and like Luke said, the minivans push it because we're hearing it. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You go on a big stage on a foreign market, it ain't happening.
I get that, but my counter to that is that it's not only bush being produced in St. Vincent. I know we might celebrate the style of music and let me tell you something. This is something I'm all up in my career. Let me get on into it, right?
Right.
Man, I always want to tell you, boy, that song international.
Right.
That's an international song. Okay.
So commentary reach.
But you're making my point. That's the point I'm making to you.
But it's just, again, back to it. We don't center. And every time I talk about it, I feel some type of about talking about this topic because it's almost like you're saying, oh, you ain't playing my song.
Right.
That's a takeaway that a lot of people have when you make these points, that, oh, you somehow referencing or centering yourself. But I am being genuine as an observer and a fan of music first before I talk as an artist. Those songs are not centered. There are hidden gems from Genie. We could go back 2010, 2011, 2012.
That just didn't
In that
make it.
era. We could go back 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Brother, one of my favorite artists in St. Vincent ever is Justin Arundel.
Right.
You understand? That is my palette. Just to that is a, if you know, you know. The kids say, all ain't gonna know what I'm thinking. All ain't gonna know. If you know, put something in the comments if you know about Justin.
What about though, right? Like in Trinidad, that there appears to be, right? We watch these big stations
Mhm.
and they look fantastic.
They do.
Artists getting paid, they look attractive.
Right.
Right? People want to go and see it. It looks like something you want to emulate. We see them getting booked all around the world. But the industry in Trinidad will tell you that they essentially gatekeep. They keep that bush out because they don't want to be known for that.
Because they get their own bush as well.
Because it damages the brand.
Right. So the point that we made earlier about the value of your cultural product and entertainment, and Trinidad have oil and natural gas, and it's a much more developed economy with a higher population. I just had to drop a little academia on you, just the context of Trinidad. So apples and maybe tangerine, but at the same time, structurally, there's institutions like CUT. There's their ministries of culture and entertainment who are hands-on and involved. There's TUCO. There's venues, very, very important. There's a whole ecosystem, let me say, around the industry. So you're seeing the end product of a lot of work, and it never stops. So you go Trinidad now,
and it's working.
And it's that machinery is working, right? If you listen to artists like we say, Nyla and Michael T. Johnson tell you about the experience that they had entering the industry and how much of a step up it was for them, you'll understand that that's a very thing. What we need to do is to put more value on our cultural product.
Right.
We still do not value our cultural product. We don't center our cultural product enough. Enough. Let me use that word, enough. And as a result, it trickles down to people not wanting to necessarily go to a show to see that product, or not being willing to pay for that product. They get activated when you have something external being involved, because it's almost like I could get a slice of cake from over here, and I think that cake over is sweet.
Right.
So they go get her, and then when it comes to our cultural expression, it's almost like we lower the expectations, because it's like, all right, this is Vinci, we're dealing with a certain level, I guess, and then we put it in that category there. And like I said, in and amongst all the bush, I don't want to start calling artist names and so on, but what I will do is say, for Island Shack Entertainment, we have always, and I mean always, tried to push the envelope, release music that is enjoyable, but at the same time still maintains that quality. Not just in mixing and mastering, but have a certain standard. So it's a plenty. I sing plenty bush, but guess what? You will never be able to play it, Genie, because it will never ever be released.
I
think when we come back, we have an interview. So big up Bongo Prime for coming through. We gotta get this song at least once.
Love and respect. Yeah,
on the rhythm. Right. So the city is on the Canon event project. You've also got Dimes and Pixel on there with a big tune. You got Skinny Fabulous and Urban Alves on there with a big tune. I like when rhythms like this, Genie, because it starts to feel like a competition within the rhythm. And that's my kind of rhythm, right? When all these songs them big. So big up the others as well.
Yeah, man. The Canon event. Big up Island Shack Entertainment. Big up Pixel. Big up the Escape. Everybody supporting anything. Love and respect to the people. And we got some.
We got something else.
Oh, we got some great stuff coming, man.
All right, great.
All right, there you go.
You don't know, it's the Bongo. Hey, yeah. There is nothing like we carnival. Everybody headed to the capital. Where we headed? This time of year is magical. Everybody headed for the capital. Nah, I tell you this is spiritual. You check the visuals. When the streets them come alive. This life is not digital, more than the physical. This is how we live life. So I said, meet me down in the city, we go jump up. Meet me down in the city by the picture. Miss this, you must see, man. What we getting on, man? Meet me down in the city, we go link up. Have you ever seen anything like this? I show you never dream anything like this. Could only be the mask make you feel like this. There is no other place with a vibe like this. There ain't nothing like we carnival. Gun in my head right now, I headed to the capital for the bacchanal. If I wine just like a criminal from a pretty girl. If you hear me ballin', like a party animal, but something about the spiritual. Just check the visuals. Juve morning when the sun rise. This thing is traditional, it's more than a festival. This is how we will survive. So I say, meet me down in the city, we go jump up. Meet me down in the city by the big truck. Miss this, you must see man. Watch we getting on road. Meet me down in the city, we go link up. One more episode before the season ends. Vibes out on the road with all my dirty friends. I'm feeling so magnificent. We just party different. There is no equivalent. I hope you get my sense.